celebration! I'm really excited! I'm at Hertfordshire Zoo! It's gonna be good. Look, there! You have to see this. Look, 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 look! It's a little bee! They're definitely liking this box. Come on, let's go see what special guests I found. Hello to all you fabulous viewers and listeners out there, and a huge welcome to a very unique episode of Eagle Hour today. We are in a very special location, and today I have as my guests not one, but two wildlife enthusiasts and world leaders in conservation. Their tireless work has become recognised and respected globally, and their appearance on BBC television shows has earned them a lot of fans and admiration, among the younger generations in particular, including me. Inspiring nature conservation projects around the world. And I am very, very pleased to introduce brothers Aaron and Tyler Whitnall from the hit TV show One Zoo 3. Hello, both of you. It's amazing to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for coming on. And thank you for letting us do the podcast here and also to be able to film at your zoo as well. So first of all, could you tell our listeners and viewers out there where this place is and why it's so significant to you both?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, I'd say thank you very much for the opportunity.
It's okay?
Yeah, definitely. So we are currently at Hertfordshire Zoo. So this is our family-run wildlife park. It's actually a fully registered charity as well. So we do lots of work for animal conservation, not just here, but around the world as well. And we're actually very lucky. It was actually all started by our granddad 40 years ago. When it was first purchased, it was actually ranked the worst zoo in the UK at the time. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that a bit more.
Yeah, so our grandfather, he never planned on working with animals.
Okay.
It was just that he happened to stumble across this place as it was being sold. It was already a zoo, but as Tyler mentioned, it was dubbed as the worst zoo in the UK. And yeah, basically he took a gamble on it. So even the animals that were here, he'd never even heard of half of them, let alone seen any of them. So we always joke he's like the living definition of the term winging it, really. But once he got started, that was it. It was a life change, wasn't it, Ty?
Yep. So where he started was there was basically a lion called Bobby. He'd never seen an exotic animal before in his life, but when he bought the site, there was a lion called Bobby in this tiny, basically little prison, wasn't it? And it was half the size, not probably even less than that, of this room we're in right now.
Wow.
He'd never stepped on grass before in his life, and his mission was to start off with building this habitat for Bobby so he could run on grass for the first time. And then basically from there, it just escalated and escalated until we have what we have today. And yeah, it was celebrating 41 years now here at the zoo. It was Paradise Wildlife Park before. And actually this year, we're also celebrating 25 years of our sister charity, the Big Cat Sanctuary too. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's done pretty well.
Yeah. So would you say it's Bobby the lion that started it all off?
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, Bobby was the first icon for the initial few years. And then when Bobby passed, because when our grandfather bought the place, Bobby was already quite an old lion anyway. So when he did move into the habitat, it was lovely for him to be able to enjoy his older years of life. But then after that, the icon of the zoo for the best part of 20 years was a beautiful Amma tiger called Rocky, wasn't it, Ty?
Yeah, so we were super lucky. We grew up with Rocky. He was probably the biggest Amma tiger I've ever seen. But he was the most gentle and calm-natured cat or animal you'd ever meet, to be honest with you. Everyone around the area knew who Rocky was. And yeah, I was quite lucky. I grew up with Rocky outside my bedroom window, as well as the ring-tailed lemurs. Obviously, you had the lions, didn't you? Yep. And then Cameron had the birds out of his. But yeah, Rocky was, super special to all of us and very blessed. And then, that kind of, I guess, my granddad obviously had Bobby, then he had Rocky the tiger. His thing, obviously, was big cats. hence why the Big Cat Sanctuary was established. And he went down to support a family that were looking after several lions called the Dudding family. It did an excellent job. And they asked for some support. So he went down there, gave them that support, and obviously has eventually taken over and continued their amazing work, but now with the Big Cat Sanctuary. So, yeah, it's quite remarkable, really, isn't it? So we've got a lot of pressure on our shoulders now. Our mum and dad have done an excellent job. And now it's down to me, Aaron and Cameron to kind of fly the flag for them and all of our team, really.
Yeah. And obviously you've had a bit of an explore around the zoo.
Yeah.
Do you have any favourite animals here?
That's really tricky. I do like the tapirs, the
They're some of Tyler's
lions.
favourites.
My favourites here.
Tim and Tam the tapirs.
Tim and Tam, our head keeper, hates that as well, because they're actually called Tamara and Tomoko. So when we shortened it to Tim and Tam, like the Australian biscuit, he was not impressed. But it makes it even more fun.
Yeah.
I can tell you like the camels with the little toy there.
He's actually called Navas. So.
Really?
Nice.
But yeah, I think all of them really. Do you say you have a favourite?
So my favourites here at the zoo are Tim and Tam the tapirs. Love them. Growing up, it was the lemurs and tigers. They still are some of my favourites as well. And down at the Big Cat Sanctuary, it's the Cowler White Tiger, because he's a bit dopey, and yeah, I just love that. He's just got a really good character. How about you?
Yeah, look, obviously we love all the animals that are here at the zoo.
Oh yeah, that too.
But my passion here at the zoo would be the sun bears. Down at the sanctuary, it's our black jaguars. I just think they're, and I'm not biased, but we have the most beautiful black jaguar in the world. Like I said, I'm not biased at all. His name's Neron. He's amazing. But my actual favourite animals we don't actually have at the zoo or the sanctuary. My passion is actually orangutans.
You do a good orangutan impression, don't you?
No.
Worth try.
So have you seen orangutans in other zoos?
Yeah, we've been lucky to travel to quite a few zoos, not just in the UK, but around the world as well. And I think that's always a really important aspect of what we do, is we really try and keep our fingers on the pulses of what's going on in the world of conservation, what's going on in the world of zoos, how zoos are continuing to progress, move forward, modernise, and also what conservation organisations are doing as well, so we can tap into pretty much everything, because that's what a good modern zoo is all about: ensuring good welfare, obviously being a part of these international breeding programs, building beautiful habitats for the animals, but of course linking conservation to what we do on site as well.
So would you say that's what sort of conservation means to you?
I mean, conservation to us is very much about preserving the animals that obviously we have so much care for, and that we do, our team takes such an amazing care job of here at the zoo as well, and down at the sanctuary. So it's one, protecting the animals, but more importantly, I would say conservation is actually about protecting the ecosystems in which the animals live in, because you just focus on the individual species and not the rest of the entire ecosystem, then if that ecosystem collapses, that animal's got no home, there's no food chain. So yeah, it's all about us raising as much funds as we can here at the zoo to then support all the different partners that we have around the world that are helping to protect ecosystems and species.
Yes, it is always really important to keep that balance, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd say even on top of that, obviously managing those ecosystems is really important, but you don't even get there if you don't have that partnership with any of those local communities. So you need to get them on board in various different locations around the world, because if you want it to succeed and have that longevity, you definitely need the local just community and people to really kind of be bought into it and understand and appreciate the wildlife and nature around them as well. So that's definitely a key part to it all.
So is that sort of similar with, it's the same to all species of animal, and is there a particular animal here that you're focusing on?
Yeah, well, it's definitely for all animals, for sure. We've got it even starts just in our back garden. You know, so many of the British species are under serious threat, and we need to protect obviously the habitats and landscapes they're actually living within. But here at the zoo, wow, we're it's most species really. We're trying to support in terms of conservation around the world. That's not just through funds as well. That's through donating equipment. But also for us as well, and a lot of other zoos, we like to actually get out and get hands-on and in the field too. Actually show that, you know, we're trying to make that kind of hands-on impression and trying to gain lots of experience to bring back here so we can actually educate all those that actually visit the zoo, not just here on site, but obviously online as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Ty said, it's all about finding, and as you mentioned as well, it's all about finding that balance across the species and not just putting all your focus on one. So as much as obviously we're here at the Asiatic lion area, and we've got our lioness Sanika having a bit of a sunbathe in the background, even though they're an endangered species, we're also trying to utilize the animals that people know more about, like lions, to put a spotlight on species that people may not know much about, like a big-headed turtle that is in the Viv just next to us here.
Yes.
She's actually one of the most critically endangered animals that we have here at the zoo.
Oh, wow.
So, again, people wouldn't know that unless they came here to see the lions, because once you've seen the lions, you can turn around and see her, if you know what I mean. So, we also try to get animals to help other animals at the same time, if you get what I mean.
I see. You said about the lions that we have here. Would you say there's a difference between these lions, the Indian and Asian lions, compared to other species?
Yeah, so the way that lions generally are is you've got 3 different subspecies of lion. So you've got lions, which are the main species, 3 different subspecies. So you've got your southern African lions, your kind of northern African lions, and then also your Asiatic lions.
Yes.
So anything that's kind of south of the Kalahari is generally seen as your southern Africans. Anything north of that is your northerns. And even though there may not necessarily be too much genetic difference between the northern Africans and the Asiatics, what you generally tend to see from like a physical standpoint is that African lions generally are bigger. So, for example, our male Asiatic lion here, he weighs about 190 kilograms. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But our male African lion down at the Big Cat Sanctuary, he could weigh up to 230 kilograms.
Wow.
So it's a bit of a size difference. There is also a bit of a color difference as well. So African lions tend to be a bit more golden yellow in color, whereas Asiatic lions tend to be a bit more brown in coloration. And on top of that as well, you do also see a huge difference in their manes. So Asiatic lions have much smaller manes than African lions. So one of the predominant ways that you notice that is that Asiatic lions, you'll actually see their ears popping out their manes. Whereas with African lions, you don't have that at all.
Oh, right. So there is quite a significant difference. And is that the same sort of thing in paw prints as well?
Yeah, to a point, just in terms of like African lions will have slightly bigger paws.
You were saying about the weight difference as well. So would that make a more obvious paw print?
Definitely. Yeah. It's like anything that's a bit heavier, isn't it? It's going to make that more impact into the ground. You look at elephants and rhinos, for example. It's pretty obvious to follow their footprints, for whether that's through Asia or Africa. You can definitely pick that out of a lineup for sure.
And I was looking at the paw prints in the sand area just there, and they're massive. They are absolutely huge. And you were saying that these are smaller species, so are the other ones even bigger?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That is a massive paw print. I wasn't expecting them to be that big.
Yeah, so it's definitely, what do you reckon, 1.5, 2?
Yeah, something like that.
1.5 times the size of my hands. Don't worry, I've got little hands, so probably better if Aaron showed it.
We have a pet cat at home, and he's got really, really small paws. Compared to that, it's massive. It's just incredible, the size difference in cat species.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Because, like, as you just said, we've got, obviously, Asiatics here. We've got Amur tigers, which are the largest species of big cat. But we also have the sanctuary, the rusty spotted cat, which is the smallest of the cats.
Oh,
so
right.
you can imagine just how tiny those paw prints are as well.
Oh,
and she always
wow.
takes people by surprise with actually how small she actually is.
So roughly how small is she?
Oof.
Of course, both on this one.
She's about the size of a jug of water.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Should have brought that jug of water over
Yeah,
there.
we should have brought the jug of water over. But yeah, they're honestly tiny. I would say
Compare the length.
maybe the length of my forearm here.
Wow.
So they're pretty
That
tiny.
is
in that
small.
regard.
Yeah, even just
Yeah.
from here to here,
Yeah.
That is a very small cat.
Yeah.
Very
tiny.
cute. Very
Yeah.
cute.
Are they in the small cat species then?
They are, yeah.
Oh, right.
So you only actually have 7 species of big cat in the world.
Oh, okay.
Which all come from the Pantherina family. So you've got your lions and your tigers, probably the 2 most famous of the big
Yes.
cats. You have your leopards, snow leopards,
Yeah.
jaguars, and then you have the 2 different species of clouded leopard. So you have your mainland clouded leopard
Okay.
and your Sunda clouded leopard that make up the 7 big cat species. Although
Right.
people will debate whether or not cloudies are or not, but according to the big conservation groups, they are. And then what becomes a bit confusing is that even though clouded leopards are smaller than the likes of cheetahs and pumas, because cloudies can make more of a roar than the likes of pumas and your cheetahs can, that's why cheetahs and that aren't seen as a big cat.
I see. So it's because cheetahs purr and the tigers don't. They roar. They can't purr. So that's the main difference, really, between big cat and small cat species.
Exactly.
These are a lot of facts. And would you say you have a particular favourite fact or a really interesting fact that you've learned?
Oof. I mean, that's a tough one, really. One that I think is pretty cool is that every tiger's stripes are like our fingerprints. They're completely unique to that individual tiger.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, no two tigers have the same stripe pattern whatsoever.
Right. What would you say is yours?
And there's still one from 1 Zoo 3, which I quite enjoyed, which was when I was filming with the golden tarkin over there. And several animals can do this, but I just thought it was quite cool about the golden tarkin. So what happens is they come from really cold climates, really high up into mountainous regions. So it's really cold up there, and they've got this really dense, thick fur and wool. When they breathe in cold air, they basically have a radiator system that actually helps warm up that cold air to help keep their actual inner body warm as well. So it's quite clever.
That's similar to reindeers, isn't it?
Exactly, a lot of species in that as well. But yeah, I just realised for the golden tarkin too, just because I didn't know too much about them. So it's just good to learn a bit more.
How about you? What's your favourite animal fact?
I'd probably say the weirdest fact I've ever sort of learnt was that bearded dragons actually have a little bit of venom that they use to kill their insect prey, and that bearded dragons, avocados and fireflies are actually poisonous to them. So I'd say that's probably the
I didn't know that.
weirdest fact I've learned.
Very funky.
Yeah, it's very funky. I do like bearded dragons, so that's probably my favourite fact that I have about them.
Can't go wrong with a beardie.
Yeah, they are very cool. So where did 1 Zoo 3 come about?
So 1 Zoo 3 came about off of the back of this big conservation project that me and my brothers and one of our good friends took part in through East Africa. So we actually got put up for a grant award scheme where we actually got to travel through East Africa to visit all the different conservation partners we've worked with over the years, for many, many years. And it gave us an opportunity to actually go firsthand to actually document all the good work they're doing. Because I think what happens is on socials and even on TV series and things, there's a lot of talking about a lot of the negatives in conservation, about illegal wildlife trade, about poaching, but there's not really loads said about the amazing work that's also been done and been cut out as well. So although we're touching on the negatives, we also want to highlight the really good work to give people that kind of sense of just there's some achievement actually taking place in the field, because it can seem a bit doom and gloom. So we went on this amazing expedition where we travelled around East Africa through 4 countries in 3 weeks. One of the drives was about 18 hours straight, wasn't it, through the Serengeti?
Wow.
Yeah, it was a bit crazy. That was, get to Tanzania to Rwanda, wasn't it? Yeah, that was a bit crazy one. And then off the back of that was all part of this huge fundraising campaign we wanted to do to basically fundraise for an animal rescue and rehabilitation ambulance to send to Uganda. And it was actually the first one they'd ever received of its type or kind over there.
Okay.
And that was to help combat the illegal wildlife trade. That was it's still a huge thing over there. And that was with our conservation partners, UWEC, who we've been partners with now for 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So our granddad established that originally. We actually was able to basically fundraise enough money. We documented all these trips, and we actually took the animal ambulance over there, and we actually helped rescue and rehabilitate several animals. And luckily, we took a film guy with us, one of our, once again, close mates who we grew up with at school.
Yeah.
We documented it all, then Cameron spliced up some films. And then, we sent them out to some production companies, and luckily, True to Nature, the production company we went with, are unbelievable. And they wanted to work with us, which was brilliant. And the rest is history in a way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then off the back of that, we just kept doing more and more conservation projects and things like that too.
Out of all of the episodes that you've done, would you have a particular special one that you did for a particular reason?
Oh, good question. I did love the first series. Just don't get me wrong, I'm an awful presenter in the first series. I like to think I got a little better by the end, but still miles behind Aaron and Cameron. But it was just still in lockdown, wasn't it?
Yep.
when we filmed it. So it was, people weren't allowed on site. We had a bit of skeleton crew here on site. We'd just try and make sure we had enough funds to care for the animals and everything. But we're trying to film this 5-parter at the time. But it was just, really special, really raw, and just something new to all of us. And I think just those original 5 episodes meant a lot. And all of them featured that Drive for Wildlife project and highlighted a lot about the conservation work we do. So, yeah, it was quite a big deal, wasn't it, that one?
Yeah, it was huge. It was much more of an obstock versus like the later series. But I think the ones that really stood out for us, because obviously, look, we've grown up on site. Obviously, we featured the sanctuary a lot. Was also getting the opportunity to go and work at some of the really big zoos around the world. So filming at both of the San Diego parks was really incredible. Filming at Paradise in Belgium and then also Leipzig in Germany were experiences that I don't think we'll ever forget, because in each episode we got to do something that was really unique. So at Leipzig, Tyler filmed in their amazing Gondwana Land biodome, which at the time was the biggest indoor rainforest in the world.
Oh, wow.
I got to film with pangolins, which was just a dream. And then when we went to Paradise, Cameron got to film with the walruses. So that was pretty special.
Yeah.
And then at the San Diego parks, one, it was just great to be there and work with an organization as big as San Diego. But I think the coolest thing we got to experience was seeing the kind of biobanking and animal cloning side of things. That was really amazing. And actually seeing our first ever cloned animal was just... remarkable.
Yes. Wasn't that a pea horse, if I correct?
Yes. Yeah. Fantastic. Great knowledge.
I have watched all the series around about 5 times.
And we appreciate that support.
And we apologise to your parents.
It's amazing watching 1 through 3. I've learned so many facts off it.
Good. What's your favourite episode then that you've seen? Or even just a scene? I know what my favourite one is, so I'll tell you that one after.
It's so hard.
That's all right. You can say all of them. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll probably have to. All of them. But I did like the one when it was at the Big Cat Sanctuary and you're moving Willow, the cheetah.
Yeah.
It was quite cool seeing all the moving and stuff. Another funny one was when you were trying to figure out the footprints.
Oh, yeah.
The mystery footprints.
Aaron's like, which episode was that? Think about look at your face. You got lost in that one. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably my favourite one.
And that was with Grandad at the end.
Yes.
It'd probably have to be whittled down to those 2.
Nice.
That's right. Great choices.
Good choices. My favourite scene was when Aaron had to go and put the new filter in on the duck pond. The new water fountain on the duck pond, sorry.
Yes.
I love that scene because it's quite cold.
That is actually, I'll have to put that as a third. I just remembered that one. Yeah.
I love that.
I think I've watched it over and over.
So he's rowing out there, and his rowing technique is the worst I've ever seen in my life. Someone would have got out there in 30 seconds. Aaron's there about an hour later, just trying to get to this little point in the pond. And then Cameron's soaking you. Oh, wow. You were not too impressed with
Trying to put the weight in, wasn't it? And it didn't get in.
The strength of that jet was intense. It honestly felt like I've been punched in the face. Punched in the face by a load of cold water. It was not fun because we did film that on a particularly cold day.
Yeah.
So I did have to go home and get showered straight away after that, just because I needed to warm up. Otherwise, I was worried about getting some hypothermia. That wouldn't have been fun.
Oh, you would have been all right. It's fine. And then another good one though as well was, I think was it the first series where Cameron got the camel poo spat in his face.
Yes.
I saw
that.
that.
Was intended, and that's what makes it so funny.
That's what makes it so good.
And then you sprayed him down.
Oh yeah, but it was so when he dropped it, it hit me in the face first of all. The camera team missed it completely. So it's the fact that because they missed it, they said that was too funny. You have to do it again. So the fact they had to drop it, I think another 2 times, and every time just got splatted with camel poo. Don't recommend that for anyone at home. Listening. But definitely worthwhile watching.
Yeah.
That was definitely. So he had to re-record it.
So he did it accidentally, and they missed it on camera. But it was so funny. They're like, "Oh, we got to try and capture this."
So did you have to clean him up and then do it again?
Oh yeah, that was great fun.
Okay. Wasn't another good moment in the one was that you were driving the buggy? I think it was at the Big Cat Sanctuary. Yeah. And there was a puddle, and it literally splashed Cam.
Any opportunity to get Cam, really, that's the main thing.
Oh, yeah, as soon as it's Cameron, because he's a little wind-up merchant that can get away with everything. like even when we were kids, he'd get away with anything, wouldn't he, as well? It'd always be our fault, not Cameron's fault.
Yep.
So when he gets into trouble or if something happens to him, it makes us very happy.
Yeah.
Are there particular moments that you remember when he got away with stuff?
Oh, even just you getting soaked by the jets on the water fountain, definitely. But growing up, like he would, not in the show, but even just growing up here at the zoo, because our house is literally on the middle of the zoo, he used to just wander off and then it would turn back up, I don't know, hour, 2 hours later. He's only little. He was only, 6? Which makes me question mum and dad a little bit. But he's wandered off and he just turns back up a couple hours later and suddenly he's just holding like a duck, or he's turned up with a terrapin, or you find out he's just sitting in the middle of Squirrel Monkey Island, which used to be here at the time, surrounded by a moat. We're like, how did you get there? But yeah, no, he would just get away with it. They just thought it was cute. Where I guarantee if that was one of us, we would have been told off.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say that's one of like the funniest moments that's happened?
What's that? Him picking up animals and bringing them home? Oh god, I'm trying to think of everything now. There's always loads of things. You try to remember it all. I used to love it after hours. Not funny, but just used to love it after hours. Although the keepers wouldn't be too impressed now. But we used to sneak over after hours, go into the feed room, get like a bowl of mealworms, and then just jump in with the meerkats and porcupines and just chill with them in the evenings and just give them a bit of food and that. I would be playing with the camels and all sorts, really, wouldn't we?
Yeah, back in the day when things like health and safety and that didn't really exist. Yeah, a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we used to have friends over after hours and we used to play things like it or hide and seek. And
this was back in the day before things like social media and even podcasts was a thing. So yeah, we're quite ancient in that regard. But the coolest things were that you could play like hide and seek around the zoo for like 2 weeks because you just couldn't find each other. So it made for some fun times. I think we only really realised that living at a zoo was unique when like we got to secondary school. I think that was the only time that everyone was like, "Wait, you live at a what?" So yeah, that's when we realised it was probably a bit unique. But we've been very lucky with the opportunities we've had and things we've been able to do.
Yes.
So
would you say it's quite cool to be able to live at a zoo?
oh yeah,
100%. Definitely took it for granted when I was your age.
Yeah.
But definitely appreciate it a lot more now. And yeah, we was just so lucky to be so close to wildlife and nature, and yeah, just kind of be brought up with it. And even as kids, just go around to different zoos in the country, and we were lucky to go to Uganda at quite a young age. And I think Cameron was the youngest person to go on a gorilla trek, wasn't he?
He was, yeah,
at the time. Which, don't get me wrong, I don't think he could get away with now, but at the time he could. But so yeah, we were just very lucky just from a young age, and I don't think it's something we really appreciated until we got a bit older. But yeah, that's pretty good.
How about you? Have you had any unique wildlife opportunities or experiences?
I mean, they're all...
So many. More than us.
I mean, when I went to Australia, going out at night and seeing all the bugs there, and when we were on the way back from one bug hunt, and with macro photographing, there was a Somalian python laid across the bridge, and I'd say that was a very special moment to see a snake in the wild for the first time. That was very well. Actually, I'd say that was the second time actually, but it was still incredibly special to be able to see it. I'd say another really special time. I mean, they're all very special, all the moments, but I'd say the really, really special one for me was the first time I tried macro photography and the first time I tried photography in general, because it was just something new. And I remember getting pictures of sparrows in the bushes around the garden, and it was just getting used to actually holding the camera for a start, because it wasn't even a sparrow that was my first picture. I'd say my first picture was a puppet.
Oh, really?
Made out of like weird clay sort of thing. And then it went on to the birds outside. And then in 2 days I was being able to track birds in flight, like sparrows flying over and things.
You able to do that already?
It was, yeah, Dad said it would take around about 2 weeks to get the hang of.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Got it in 2 days, which was really special.
Just a natural.
So yeah? I'd say that was one of the really, really special moments for me, I'd say. Yeah, I'll have to have a good think about that one.
No, that's
So
fair.
you prefer using the macro lens to kind of just a long distance?
Well, I say they're both the same actually.
Yep.
Because you get the detail in things that are really far away.
Yep.
And you can also see the detail in stuff that are really, really close up
Yeah.
and small, like the insects that are flying around at the moment, like the flies and things. Have you ever tried macro photography?
I got a chance to do it whilst filming One Zoo 3. I'm nowhere near as talented as what your photos have been like. I've seen, I think, done a lot of spider ones recently.
Yeah, quite a few spiders.
Really good. But no, Cameron's definitely the photographer and a videographer and filmmaker, isn't he, out of us?
Yes.
For sure. Aaron's definitely more of the voice and that's the personality in front of camera. And I'm the boring one that is the organizer. We've got our roles.
Do you see yourself sticking with photography, or do you see yourself going more into? I know, obviously, we're doing podcasting right now, but do you see yourself doing more videography in the future?
Yeah, I'd say when I grow up, I'd like to be a wildlife filmmaker, photographer, presenter, and voiceover artist. I'd say that's the goal.
That's the goal, yeah.
At the moment. And just being able to work with animals, because I just love being in nature.
Yeah.
It's really relaxing. It's nice to hear all the bird song and yeah, and I'm pretty good at identifying bird calls. Mum and Dad's always ask me what bird call what that is, what bird is that, all that sort of stuff.
Ah, no, that's awesome. And who would you say your main inspirations are?
I'd say definitely the Irwins. I'd say a person called Bertie Gregory. He does a lot of filming and stuff. And I'd also say David Attenborough's up there as well. Yeah, I'd say those three are definitely up there.
Yeah, Steve Irwin. I know, obviously, probably Rob Irwin's the one now who's unbelievable as well. But yeah, Steve Irwin is definitely our favourite, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, so we're half British, half Australian.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, to us, Attenborough and Irwin are like the two, gods of wildlife, filmmaking, I guess, and or wildlife personalities. But I think one of my most cherished possessions is I got to spend 4 months pretty much just going behind the scenes and hanging out with some of the team at Australia Zoo.
Oh, wow.
I have this big, almost like black case, and in it is every single Steve Irwin documentary ever.
Oh, wow, so that's quite cool.
That's one of my most prized possessions, that one.
That's pretty cool.
Well, not to lose.
Yes, exactly. Do you have any particular parts of the world that you hope to be able to go and explore and do conservation work in at some point?
Yeah, well, there's a bucket list, and it's very long.
I'm the same.
It's very long, and it grows bigger every day. And I'd say I'd really like to work in places like the Arctic, the Antarctic, Africa, Asia, Galapagos, Spain.
Just a few places then.
Just a few.
Just a few,
America. Just a few.
That's great. You've got to have that list, haven't you, at the end of the day? And you want to get through it, tick it off, make sure you're just playing a key role and highlighting what you want to highlight in a way.
I remember writing a little book of all the animals that I wanted to see. And now that I look at the book and I think, because I've seen some of them that are on the book. I haven't seen a couple of the others. And then I just think of another 3 books I could make of all the stuff I could find. Would you say you have quite a lot of stuff on your bucket list?
Oh, so many still. Love to see, I'd like to go out and see whale sharks and manta rays, especially the migration. Seeing lots of film work of that, and it just looks like the best thing ever. Orcas would be amazing. Antarctica I'd love to go to, but I wanted to and go to Canada and go and see the bears and the moose in the wild.
Yes.
Especially when it's time to hunt for the salmon and things like that.
Yeah.
Would love to go and see that in the wild for sure. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been really lucky to have some pretty awesome wildlife experiences so far. So in 2014, I went and spent a week off-grid in the Amazon, which was really amazing.
Oh, wow.
So no phone reception, no Wi-Fi. Live with a local community there as well.
Oh, okay.
So we were like a 3-hour drive and a 3-hour boat ride into the Amazon, which was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And we were literally living off the land. And where we were staying, where we set up where the hammocks were set up, pink river dolphins would swim by.
Oh, wow.
Every day. So that was pretty remarkable.
It's not bad.
Yeah. been lucky to see orangs kind of semi-wild, but I'd love to go back and do orangs in both Borneo and Sumatra, just with them being my passion. And then, beyond that, you name it. I mean, my biggest ambition in life is to travel to as many countries as I can.
Yeah.
And just have as many experiences as I can. So I love learning about not just wildlife, but, the way different people in different parts of the world live, culture, the way people coexist alongside wildlife as well. So, hopefully I've got a few more adventures left in me yet.
Would you say that's sort of what's next for you on your goal?
Toying with the idea of Madagascar. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, Madagascar is amazing because aren't there like some species on there that are not found anywhere else?
Exactly.
Lots,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's quite an amazing place, Madagascar. Yeah, I'm weighing up whether I can go to that one or Canada at the moment. It's one or the other.
Okay.
Still into Canada.
Well, this has been awesome, but now I think I'm going to move on to the special Eagle Hour question.
Okay, go for it. Yeah.
Which is, if you had £500 million, what would you do with it?
500 million.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of money. Whew.
So initially, I would make sure that all my family and friends are set up for life. So make sure that, any major concerns they have, or, make sure their kids have got, their education paid for, and, the houses, all their mortgages are paid off. So no one's in any debt. All my friends can go through life. Same for family, without any kind of worries financially would be big. I would obviously give a lot of money to the zoo and the sanctuary to make sure that, they are able to continue to develop and grow, and, even the teams here are supported through it. And then after that, I would probably give a fair bit of it away, just because that's a lot of money, and I don't think I would need all of that money myself. I'd probably take a leaf out of Steve Irwin's book, so I know that he used a lot of his wealth to just buy up a lot of wild areas in Australia, just so that no one could ever touch them. So I'd probably get involved with some big organizations and find some really cool parts of the world that we can just protect and leave for wildlife, which would be really cool. And then I would probably just enjoy my life traveling, going to see wildlife, going to my favorite sports events, bits and pieces like that,
Yes.
So not necessarily everywhere like nice and glamorous. Like I still like to do camping, or, really be at one with nature in that regard as well. So, just have a bit of fun, just try and make the most of life in that regard.
Yeah.
So,
What
pretty
should be
awesome.
yours?
It's pretty good. Okay. First of all, look after the family, friends, of course. But I would turn this place into the #1 zoo or close to it in the world, because I still am a massive believer in that. Good zoos are one of the biggest and most important contributing factors to protecting wildlife, conservation, the education we give to not just us locally, but around the world, to millions of people and children, just so they can engage and fall in love with wildlife like we have. And within that mega zoo would be 1 or 2 biodomes for sure. We just come back from Zurich, and they had this amazing kind of Madagascar biodome, didn't they? So when you're walking around, it's what makes it so special is the fact that you actually have to find the animals yourself. It's not like they're obviously we have these lovely displays here and things like that, but you actually have to go and search the animals, so it feels like you're on a real safari, which is quite unique. So definitely make this place the hub, and same with the Big Cat Sanctuary. Both doing well, but want to see them be #1. What else would I do? I would probably look to acquire tons of land in protected areas for wildlife. Try and set up some reserves, and it's not just a case of just buying the land, but definitely make sure there's teams and communities involved in protecting it and the wildlife and the nature there. I want to invest in kind of new technologies to help protect wildlife using AI and that, because there's so much that has got the potential to do. And I don't think we've really worked out to utilize that within wildlife yet, or conservation. So I think that could be really important. So I'm sure there'll be something there. And obviously take my son and my wife just around the world to all the different spaces that we wanted to see. I'd buy a campervan, nice big campervan. Love that. And travel around loads of places. And then last one is invest in Tottenham, my football club, so they can actually do a lot better in the league, because it's shocking how bad they've been this year. Although they might win the cup, so actually I'll take it back.
Maybe. Well, that's really nice. It shows that you both have a very kind heart for nature, wildlife, and the people that you love.
Oh, thank you very much.
How about you? What would you do with that kind of money?
I probably would buy as much land as possible and use it to protect nature and reptiles and all the endangered animals and try and help them, like the animals that we have behind us that are critically endangered. Try and help them, like the northern white rhinos and all that. And I would give some to Mum and Dad and things and everyone as well.
Just a 5 or a 10 for McDonald's or something.
Yes. But yeah, I'd probably do a similar thing to what you would do with it, just to help the wildlife and people.
Yeah,
good on you.
That sounds awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on my podcast. It's been awesome to chat to you.
I think you've got a big career ahead of you, so best of luck with everything.
Oh,
Really
thank
blown
you.
away.
And best of luck for your zoo and all the conservation work that you're doing as well. Fingers crossed for good luck for the future. And before I wrap up this outstanding podcast, I have a couple of riddles for both of you.
Go for
Oh
it.
no, I'm terrible at riddles.
Okay, well, we'll see how you do. One person did say that they were terrible and they got both correct, so if that's any help. Okay, we got a riddle book. I have a riddle book with scribbled in and all sorts, so it's just used magic hands. So 2 for both of you, but if one of you gets the other one or something, it doesn't matter. So the first one is, in the Madagascar forests, high in the trees, an animal jumps around with ease. With a very long and stripy tail, and body fur is fairly pale. What am I?
Ringtailed lemur?
Yep.
Ha! 1-0.
Oh, all right. I didn't realise we were going against each other.
Well, now we
were
are.
working together after. You were like, oh, I'm not very good at riddles.
Yeah, but I got it right, so now we're competing. So
Okay. There's the next one. So, in the trees in the Sumatran jungle lies an old man with a face so humble, with reddish fuzzy hair on top of his head, and very... What's that say? I'm trying to read my own handwriting.
sounds like me.
And every night makes a cozy new bed. Who is he?
Is it an orangutan?
Yeah.
I'll let him have that one.
Love it.
Yeah, very good.
Flicking through. Okay. Here's the next one. So, deep in the Asian forests up high, an animal is named after something in the sky. With a very long tongue that loves to eat honey, looking at his eyes can make you feel funny. What am I?
Sun bear?
Yep.
2-1.
I knew it. I'm just giving you these two. All right, orangutan was your favourite animal. I had to give you that.
Okay.
Somebody's favourite animal here at the zoo. Let's give you that.
It's the weirdest competition ever. Okay, last one. So, deep in the forests of Russia and China, an animal roams with stripes no finer. To a deer it looks black and green. So when it's hunting, it's hardly ever seen. What am I?
Am I a tiger?
Yep. It's a draw. It's a draw.
We'll take the draw. We'll take the draw.
Put it on a draw. There you go.
I'm not happy about it, but I'll take it.
Well, I think you both got them really well.
Yeah,
Really good.
Oh, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
Because I've written these riddles, as you can see in this book, and I was trying to think, what should I go with? What should I go with? And I did one for each, and then I thought, no, I need to do 2. I know.
There's good competition there in the end.
Yeah.
I liked it.
And I went to a draw, so
Yeah,
it was good.
Nice and fair.
Yeah.
Very good.
Well, thank you so much for coming on my podcast, both of you. It's been awesome to chat to you about all things wildlife, really.
No, thank you so much for the opportunity. Honestly, it's been so awesome. And I think anything we can do to help and support you in the future, just let us know. Because, we think you're
thank
amazing.
you.
So,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, doing remarkable work, and I'm sure you're going to inspire a lot of people just to kind of get in there and, get involved with wildlife. So, well done.
Thank you so much. Well, all the best for you as well. I hope that this zoo might become #1, maybe. But
We'll see.
I wish all the best for the future and the conservation work that you're doing here. It's amazing. Keep up the awesome work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you all as well for, wasn't that an awesome podcast? Talking to Aaron and Tyler. Aaron and Tyler! The 2 stars, and Cam is as well, the top stars in One Zoo 3. It was just awesome to chat to them about wildlife and the conservation work that they do. Don't forget to subscribe to hear more awesome podcasts, just like this one. See you there!
Unreal. Thank you very much.
Thank you.